Hey, Todd Barton here with the Barton Real Estate Group. Today I wanted to take just a few minutes and talk about what we call in the industry the repair request or the request for repairs. What happens when you buy a home is we have a third-party inspector go out to the home and inspect the home to make sure that all the mechanical systems in the home are in good working order. And if they're not in good working order, or if there's some issue with a home, we then go back to the seller and ask them to do repairs. And this is done on a repair request form. The purpose of this is to ask the seller to do repairs on things that we didn't know were wrong with the home when we wrote the offer. So that's one of the challenges with buying a home, is there's so many things that you don't know about a home when you write your offer to purchase the home. And so this is an opportunity to have somebody inspect the property, find the problems that might exist, and then go ask the seller to help us resolve these problems. The way that it works is we'll do a form called a repair request, and we'll list on that repair request all of the things that you as the buyer would like the seller to address in order for you to move forward and buy the home. The seller then will respond back to that. In some cases, they respond back and say, okay, we'll fix everything. Or, okay, we'll fix a couple of things, and there's a couple of things that we're not willing to fix. Another very common scenario is rather than us fixing something, how about if we just give the buyer a credit towards closing costs and with some money, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever that looks like. And so there's lots of ways to work it out. There's lots of ways for the buyer and the seller to kind of figure out what makes sense for moving forward with purchasing the home. Look, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes the seller's not willing to do enough repairs that the buyer wants done, and the buyer decides not to buy the home. And so it's important that we get this process of the inspection and the repair request done during our due diligence period, because that's the time in the contract that we can protect the earnest money at the highest possible level. So once the seller responds back, if the buyer accepts that, and they're okay with what the response was, then we would then just move forward with the contract. Seller would then do those repairs. And the repairs would then be re-inspected either by the buyer or by the inspector again, by going back out to the property after repairs to make sure they were done correctly and that all of the items that were supposed to be addressed were addressed. And that's done closer to the close of escrow, which gives the seller some time in between the due diligence period and the close of escrow time to actually get those inspections done. So understand that there's a negotiation that goes back and forth between buyer and seller on items that are wrong with the property. And again, these are typically mechanical items: air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, any of those types of things. Anything that's cosmetic that we've seen when we wrote our offer probably don't get addressed in the repair request, because when you write your offer based on what you can see in the property. If it has a hole in the door, you knew that when you wrote your offer. And so a lot of the times those things don't get addressed in your repair request. It's usually only the items that we were not aware of when we wrote the offer. So I hope this helps. It's a crucial part of getting a home bought and sold, is going through this negotiation on which items should be repaired and which ones won't be repaired. And then the buyer gets to make a decision on whether they want to move forward, and the seller then can decide if they want to change their mind and do some additional things. But again, that's one thing that the Barton Real Estate Group does at a very high level, is they'll go out, they'll negotiate repairs for you on the property that you're buying. We'll try to help the other side, the agent, the listing agent, understand why these things are important to you as a buyer, and we'll do all we can to make sure that you're completely satisfied with the repairs that are done. So hey, I hope this helps. If there's any information that you need in addition to this, please reach out to the Barton Real Estate Group. We're happy to answer any questions, emails, and address any of your concerns.